So, your school's an FCS school looking to move up to the FBS level because you want more national attention, or you hope to make more money off your athletic programs. When a program is looking to make the transition, there are a few things to consider, so stay tuned to find out what athletic directors need to consider and what requirements schools must take to make the leap up to the FBS level. Collegiate athletic programs are some of the biggest moneymakers for schools every year. A lot of the time, football and basketball programs at the FBS level are able to cover the running costs for the rest of the university's different sporting programs. When it comes to playing football at the FBS level, there's usually a large television contract involved that really sweetens the deal. Over $30 million per school in the Big Ten, $44 million for the SEC, and even $4 million for Mountain West schools. There's a lot of money being thrown around when it comes to the television deals these schools sign, and they are only going up. In the next coming years, we will see James Madison and Sam Houston State come up from the FCS level to join the FBS, playing in the Sun Belt and Conference USA respectively. These two FCS programs have been very successful, with James Madison winning the 2004 and 2016 national championships, while Sam Houston State has gone on a few runs in the playoffs in recent years. Both schools were seen as very attractive to make the jump due to where they are geographically located, but what did they need to consider to make the move? A school may want to move due to the aforementioned television deals they can be a part of at the FBS level. Historically, FCS programs were not able to get much coverage aside from a few programs, but that has since changed with multiple FCS conferences signing television deals with ESPN that air on ESPN+. Schools also receive more attention from the media at the FBS level, which may make the school more attractive to prospective students. Tom Kleinlin, the athletic director for Georgia Southern back in 2013, told ESPN, "For me at the end of the day, it's the exposure for our university and growing our university. For us, we're pretty good at some of our other sports. These other sports are constantly having to fight the battle of whether they're a Division I school because of the label and association of FBS football. When I look at what was going on, my concern became, eventually, if the big split happens, are we now as the third level as opposed to the second level?" Along with that, back in 2013, there was a concern FBS schools would stop scheduling FCS programs, which would cost FCS schools anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. Hey you! Yeah you! Do you think FCS programs are better off staying at the FCS level, or should they move up to the FBS level? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it because it really helps the video in the algorithm. So what does an FCS school need to be able to get the invite from the quote-unquote big boy league? Well, first off, a school must be invited to join the FBS by a conference and needs to have conference membership established before starting the movement process. If you're a school located within the geographical footprint of a conference looking to add members, then your odds of being invited are raised because this means travel expenses will be limited and it will be easier and quicker for fans to access away games, meaning there will be larger crowds at the games. The next thing that's considered is stadium size and facilities. Each school at the FBS level must average 15,000 fans once every 2 years, so that means if your stadium is smaller than 15,000 seats, then you either need to renovate or you may be out of luck. Back in September of 2010, reports came out that Villanova was invited to join the Big East, with athletic director Vince Nicastro telling the Daily News the Big East very recently communicated its interest in adding Villanova as a football member. As a result, we have decided to embark on the in-depth evaluation of this opportunity. As you might expect, this is a complex issue, which entails many dimensions, both quantitative and qualitative. While we will move forward as quickly as possible, it is critical that all of those dimensions are vetted through prior to making any final decisions. Although there were no formal agreements, had Nova wanted to join the conference, they were in. Except for one problem. Their stadium only held 12,000 people, meaning they did not meet the required attendance numbers. There are multiple stadium options like PPL Park in Chester, where the Union played their soccer games, Franklin Field, or even Citizen Bank Park. The problems didn't stop there. Nova needed to upgrade their infrastructure like weight rooms, practice fields, etc., and would need to fund 22 more football scholarships and also add many additional women's scholarships to comply with Title IX. The Big East would later back off their offer due to the concern around their old undercapacity stadium, so if you want to move to the FBS level, you better have your 15,000 plus seat stadium figured out. You also probably want to have your average attendance up there, or it may become a concern for the FBS conference. Although the generated buzz moving up would create it, better be safe than sorry. You also need to sponsor at least 16 varsity sports, at least 6 male and at least 8 female sports. schedule-wise, you must play 60% of your games against FBS opponents. So let's say you're invited, and your passionate crowd really wants you to go. Why wouldn't a team consider moving up to the FBS level? First off, you need to be able to afford the additional 22 football scholarships and the subsequent women's scholarships needed due to Title IX. This can be upwards of millions of extra dollars spent per year that programs originally weren't spending. Then you add in the added coaches and support staff, it's not a cheap decision. Back in 2010, Old Dominion's athletic director, Wood Seelig, told the Virginia Pilot, most schools can expect another $3 to $4 million in annual expenses making the jump. Knowing firsthand, having overseen Western Kentucky's move from the FCS to the FBS in 2008, while he was athletic director there. If a school is moving up for purely financial reasons, they should rethink the move. An NCAA study of schools that made the jump over a 10-year period found that additional annual expenses outpaced increased revenue by an average $1.73 million. A Georgia Southern study concluded it's not a decision to be made based off the profit motives. It is a decision that more likely should be based upon the prestige of being in the major leagues and how that will benefit the institution as it contemplates its future growth and direction. Schools moving up to the FBS level won't instantly be attracting 50,000 fans a game if they weren't before the move just because they made the jump to the FBS. Especially when you consider most teams struggle after moving up to the FCS to FBS level as they try to reduce the talent gap. Schools are likely chasing the dream, the $40.6 million median revenue in FBS as compared to just $3.8 million in the FCS. But a recent study by the NCAA suggests it could be a nightmare. From 1978 to 2010, 19 teams have made the move up. Few of them have seen increased success on the field, and an additional cost of doing business, and many relying more heavily on student fees. According to the NCAA studies, the average winning percentage of those 19 programs when they were FCS programs were 55.7%. In the FBS, that fell down to 44.8%. They've also seen far fewer winning seasons, from 64.4% in the FCS to 37.2% after moving up a classification. Although numerous studies have found revenues increase with the move to the FBS, they've also found expenses generally increase at a greater rate. There is some evidence to suggest being at the top of the FCS is better, both from a financial and student athletic experience standpoint, than being at the bottom of the FBS. The average revenues for an FBS program in the bottom fourth is $22.5 million, compared to $25.6 million in the top fourth of the FCS. NCAA data shows an FCS school in the top of the level sponsored 23.6 sports, compared to 16.8 sponsored sports by the bottom of the FBS schools. The total number of student athletes also dropped from 639 in the top fourth of the FCS to 458 in the bottom fourth of the FBS. And here's the crazy statistic from 2013 that was released by ESPN. Catherine McKinney's presentation said schools reclassifying increased student fees by an average of $1.2 million annually to keep up in the added expenses. So what does this mean for James Madison and Sam Houston State? Well, they will probably struggle their first few seasons at the FBS level, and their ADs and fans will need to be patient and give the coaching staff time to build their teams the right way. While there have been schools that have succeeded in moving up and winning right away, that was not the norm. Patience will be key because you don't want to start the dangerous slippery slope of hiring a new coach every 3 years. But what do you think? How will James Madison and Sam Houston State do when they transition to the FBS level? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos right here. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.